Monday, May the 18th, late video, just trying to get around to this now for you guys. So I want to show you the 3-minute chart that I'm using, but more importantly the 5-second chart and the 30. Now you guys might have tick charts, and this may be like a tick chart. I'm not sure because I've never used them. I think tick charts are the contract. Someone can clear that up. I think a lot of you guys have TOS, but I'm going to show you how I use the 5-second charts for entries against a 30-second chart for the setup. And I do have a 1 minute as well, but it's too much going on the screen. So I'll show you the 2 charts, and then I'll just show you what the 3 chart setup looks like. So anyways, this was my day. I took 14 trades. You can see them all through here. And I was finished by 11:07. I went 11 for 14. And basically, this will keep popping up today. Don't show me this again. Actually, maybe don't. Let me hit continue. Went 11 for 14. I was just shy of $3,000. So it was a great day. It was a pretty easy day. And I think the second chart is doing that for me. So just going to show you some of the stuff, and you know, I showed you the 9 EMA, and maybe something will help you guys in here. I'm not sure if you have second charts on TOS. I don't think you do, but we'll. I think a tick chart, if you're not using it, may be really beneficial. So it's definitely made a difference in my entries. So here we are. So let's click over here. This is my 2-minute chart, or sorry, 2-minute chart, 5-second chart, and here's the 30-second chart. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you, there's the beginning of the day. Using the 30-second chart, I do draw my fibs on the 30. So what you'll notice here is you have the bottom of the flagpole, top of the flagpole, bottom of the flag. I don't know why they've moved. Let's get these back on. Let's go like this. Top of the flagpole, bottom of the flag. There you go. And let's move that there, because that would have been, oh, that one would have been accurate. Here we go. Perfect. So that's where those guys are drawing on the 30. And I have it set to draw. Look, I named my chart Calico Max because this is basically not his favorite chart colors, I'm assuming, but this is his setup. So in honor of Calico, that's his chart name. Symbol crosshairs drawing. So on my chart, my crosshairs show up when I draw something like fibs. They'll show up at the same location. My drawings show up at the same location, and they'll translate over to every chart. Okay, so let's close that. And morning ran up really quickly. I was hopping around during this time. I was trying to find out where the hot stocks were. I had a feeling NVAX was going to move because I, saw a little article yesterday. Everyone's bullish on NVAX for whatever vaccine. Who knows? So I had it on my radar and drew my fibs, and then just started playing it from here. So what you'll see here on the left side, this is my 5-second chart. We'll keep the blue ring around that. There's a 30. What you'll notice is I use this on the right side for my setup. Okay, so I'm looking for a setup here that I'd like to take, and then what I'm looking for on the 5-second chart is an entry. Now what you got to remember, I would assume with a tick chart or a 5-second chart, I'm sure they're probably pretty similar, is that the data is not going to be as reliable. So as you have a longer time frame, the data clearly gets, I guess, more reliable because there's more source. So I keep that in mind when I'm buying on the 5-second. Okay, so when you're looking over here, like see, this was a flat 50 MA. I wasn't sure yet. I'm kind of waiting for this 15 to cross and maybe show a clear up trend. But it was showing good signs of strength. And if I change this to the 1 minute, because I use 3 charts at the same time, actually, let me just click here. You can see that the 1 minute was kind of looking good at this time. Like it was all heading in the right direction. It wasn't so flat. It was curling up. So what I decided to do was look for an entry and go long around this point. So when you're looking at the MACD on my 5-second chart on the left hand here, on the left hand side, I was playing basically a cross coming here and picked it up right there, right before it was about to cross. So picked it up right here in this area, and if you notice, this thing is ready to curl. Let me just zoom in so we can see that. See, it's got a little bit of level underneath. The RSI is coming up, and what happened was on this side, so when you're looking here, so look over there and you can kind of get both charts, you can see that the MACD on this side and TTM and the RSI are really good. So I said, okay, this thing's definitely going to curl here. Like there's still time before this falls apart. So took an entry right here in the purple, and then kind of rode this thing up through here. And then as it started to get leveled off in this area on the 5-second, I'm looking at my 30-second chart, and then the TTM falls apart right here. So you can see these, if you're moving the slider on the 5-second, but I'm looking at the 30 right now. So I take my entry just after just a little bit before the cross. It crosses up, the trajectory is looking good on the 5-second, okay? And then it starts to get, on the 5-second chart, looking at the left side now, it's starting to level off, okay? And then I get a red doji, and I go, uh-oh, is this thing gonna fall apart here? And it's streaming across, the TTM's picking up, the RSI is moving completely across, and I look over to the 30-second chart at this time, and then the TTM's starting to fall apart. So as this MACD is getting closer on the 30, the lines are closing in on each other. My 5 seconds falling apart, and my 30 is not looking great because the TTM squeezing lower, and the MACD is tightening up. I decide to get out of the trade at that time. So exit the trade, 32-cent gain, locking in the profits. I don't want to stick around to see if it's going to go higher. I can see that there's a fib just a little bit above. I don't know if it's going to push up completely. So you get it and you lock it in. And that's 32 cents at 1,000 shares, and that's $320. So a fantastic trade to start the day. Now, day progresses, this thing kind of moves up, breaks the fib, but it retests it, comes down below, and look, even breaks the 50 on the 15-second. But this is not gospel on the 5-second chart. Okay, it's very loose actually for me, because if you look at this chart here in the 5-second and you look at this 30, you know, it kind of breaks it a little bit further here, but not, you can actually see the price action. So you can see how this comes all the way up, and there's the tip, and it just looks a lot higher on that 5-second. Comes down, and there's your big red candle, and you can just see how that kind of fell apart, and it's just clear consolidation. My dog is whining. One second, let me get my dog here. Okay, so my tiny little dog is no longer whining at the door. Now I have my cat purring beside me, so I'm sorry for that interruption. So here's the, let's get back into this here. So here is the consolidation that we we're just saying. So it's just pure consolidation. And the nice thing is you know whether you're going to get back in or not. So when you're just looking at the 30, there's no depth into this price action right here. Like this whole big move here, when I bring this down, look at that 30-second chart. That's that whole move. You can see the action within the candles, right? So you're looking at this MACD now in this area, and it's looking terrible. You're not going to go long here. No one's going to go long here. So, you know, you wait till it, you know, kind of gathers itself, curls up and makes a cross. And I took it long right here at this candle. I don't know why I missed so much of it, but I could have taken it right there. Maybe because I was under the 50, still getting used to this 5-second chart. And the fib was there, so that could have been it as well. But clearly took it over here for another $110. And this is a 5-second chart. That's literally a 10-second trade. In, out. And look, candle stayed in the same area and the price regrouped again. And then ready to go again, right? And so I took another trade up here. This was actually a loss, as we can see. So I took this one a little bit too high, and then it came down and up and down. And I basically sold this at an $80 loss because it was losing steam. So when you're looking at the 5-second, the TTM's coming down, right? I go, okay, this thing's out of steam. The TTM's coming down on the 30-second over there, and it's just not looking good. So out of that one, cut my losses. I could have stayed in it and been okay. I don't know what I was doing here, but I must have been asleep at the wheel. So if you're looking here, this guy came up. That would have been a perfect cross to take because this is a huge, that's like a $1 candle. Look at that, 53.54 to 53.42 in one candle you could have got there. Anyways, didn't take that cross, silly me. And you can see the momentum kind of turning because, you know, it's coming up. maybe I didn't take it because the MACD was falling apart, and this is the first TTM where the MACD poked its head. And if you look over at the MACD on the 30-second, that's what I mean where the MACD poked its head out, I've started following the numbers a lot more. So because it's hard to see exactly how separated they are, if you look in this, you look at the right side, you can see that's 16 and 24, that's the separation. And if you want a quick reference, see when I go here, where were we there? We were right here. The reference is, if you look at the MACD in the center here, okay, just hold your cursor there, it tells me that the MACD is reading 54 to 51, so the white's over the red, and it's over by 3. And you can't see my histogram on the MACD because I've made it opaque, but it's in that dark green color, so it's still okay because I've colored it like the TTM. Or actually, sorry, it's actually bad, so I would have got out of there. But when turned light on the histogram would have been more confirmation because the two light colors are ascending, right? They're heading up. That might be a little bit tough to grasp when you're looking at this and I can't point it to you, but anyhow, grabbed this thing a little bit later, 16 cents right here, literally 1, 2, 3, this is 15 seconds, 1, 2, 3, sorry, 20 seconds of trade, $160 again, which was great, and picked it up when the MACD was separated, and it started to separate if you look at the 30-second chart, and the TTM was increasing, so it took a little bit there. As you can see, the price quickly consolidates. Again, it does this all day. And I tried to take a run here and ended up taking 2 little losses, okay? You can't tell, I couldn't tell, like, look at the TTM was down. I should have never taken that, but was just kind of riding this all the way up. Who knew when it was going to stop? But $60 loss, $160 loss. And even though the TTM look was increasing and increasing on my 30-second, not worth to hold through all this. Actually, when it dipped down, I probably got a little bit scared there as this thing kind of came down all the way to here. But I endured that because this was looking good. The 50 MA was still pointing up on the 30-second. And if I change this one to the minute chart, let me just see here, let me click to this chart. That's the second red one. I'm going to click here, guys. If we go to the second red one, that's what I would have been looking at on my 3 charts. See, it's falling apart right here in this time frame right here. So I held it from there to there. And it, the MACD is still good. That's probably why I held on to that, because the RSI was still ripping ahead. This TTM is reading at a 2.67. I would have stayed in it for sure because I knew even though the 30 was running out of gas. So if you go here, you look at the 30 now, and the 30 is running out of gas over, that's way over there. Let's see, there it is. 30 is running out of gas around there, so you can see, look at the TTM, look at the MACD, it's curling, but my 1 minute chart kept me in it. So the 5 breaks down, the 5-second on the far right side, the 30-second starts to break down. I know that my last hope of getting any little kick before this thing really turns negative is my 1 minute. So going back to that chart, after it came down here, I was like, oh no, and I waited for the next pop and I took it. So as soon as this thing kind of powered up, I took it and didn't hang for this extra to get to the fib. I thought it was over. So that's how I worked those. Let's zoom out here. You can see we're still heading up this way. Next 3 trades, pretty easy. And this is where you start using the 9 EMA. So went long here for 26 cents, so $260. On the 5-second, we have good separation, TTM increasing. And when you look at the 30-second, this is where I see Calico jump in when the MACD starts, or sorry, the TTM starts to turn into that dark purple, that positive, like it's ascending. I know that we're gonna, I have a good look on the 5, and the 30 is just starting. So I know I've caught this really early, and I took my 260. And I don't know, I could have rode that a bit longer, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Would have been a lot more money. So I got to get more profitable. That's my problem, because I'm hopping in and hopping out, but it might have been because of fib. I see 260, it looks good, right? Waited for it to get up here, took another $250. As you can see, the 5 seconds still doing the same thing. And if you look over, at the 30-second chart, it's still looking great too. Like it's just starting its move, okay? And then this was the big power that I missed. I was locking that in, and I should have been in for this. I've given up a lot of money here. It's unbelievable when I'm looking at it now, how much I'm giving up on these good signals. I guess that's, I don't know, playing scared, playing too cautious. I got to try and clean that up. Here's another $100 on this little chart here after the fib. So once this big candle came up, you can see on the 5-second how it just boom and just hit it again, and third one, and then next one's a charm. And I just took that 10-cent little run here. Can't even see it on that 30-second. It's not even a move. It probably happened so quickly within 10 seconds. And all the way up to the fib here. Look at this. And then, of course, hits your fib. Comes down and tests off this fib again. So you go from your 161 to your 130. And then it powered up again. Scariest trade, worst trade of the day for me right here. So I was having a good day. I was up a little bit. And this looks okay on the 30-second. So I remember this. So, you know, it came, I missed all that. I go, oh God, oh, and then I missed all this here on the, you know, and I get into it after we passed the fib and a little bit later. So you can see, it looks like you missed a lot, but if you're looking at the 30-second chart, I waited till it passed that fib, and then I was pretty much into it as quick as I could have been. I just caught the top here. And then look, it just fell apart. And if you go over here, see if we can zoom out a bit. Perfect. Took this trade here, and because this 50 was just cruising up, I decided to stay in. I held it. It went down almost $1,000. I've never done that. And then up and then down, and I just decided to hold it because my 1 minute was also looking good. The 30 was keeping me in this for a bit, and then the 1 minute took over and kept me in it. So let's see if I can see that. There it is right there. There's my 1 minute chart. So there's that trade where you see all that red and all that looks just terrible, right? It's funny how terrible that looks. Let's see it over here. We can probably find it right here. NVAX 5-second. Here we are. Here we are. There it is. There's that ugly W. Look at that. You got lots of W's here. And I took it from here. And if you look at the 1 minute chart, that looks beautiful. Like you look at the left side, you look at the 1 minute chart, and you have a separation on the MACD, you have the RSI up, you have the TTM increasing. That is literally the only reason why I held this. Your 50's up. It's way off the 9. It's in no man's land on the 15. So I said, okay, let's hold it. And as my 30 fell apart, I looked to the 1, and that literally got me out of that trade, because when I go back here, oh my God, that's dreadful to look at. But it gives you a realization that maybe, you know, I should have never been in this, because I could have grabbed it at any point down here and then made more money, right? Like, you know, I had to watch it come back up $1,000 to make 110. And I got out as soon as it shot over, or, you know, even close to even, I got out of that thing. So that was my worst trade of the day. I made $110. Here's a little pop I played, and I should have never played it, but my brother was here and I was just kind of showing him stuff, and I just played the angle of attack here. So if you look at the 30, this thing's coming down, but this angle of attack was so good. I don't like playing these, but you know, it was coming over, and it came over with such vigor, and the volume was coming up. It looked good, and bang, took it, and it was a quick 170 right there. Very simple. Now, I stopped taking trades after that, and I let this play out. I drew this little wedge, because when you have a descending wedge, so you can see from here and going across, it's going to break either way. It breaks up or down, okay? You don't know which way it's gonna break, but it's typically gonna break. And I just had my eye on it. I drew it when it was around here, and I just drew it really long, or around here, and I just let it play out. I went, you know, looking around and doing other things at that time, and then I caught the breakout. And these were my last trades of the day. I'm not sure if I think I might have taken one more. I think it could have been it. That was my last trade of the day. So these are my last trades of the day. They were super simple. Once that broke out, so after you have all this consolidation, right? Like look at, so the market was just on fire today. Boom, comes down all the way up. Little retest here, all the way up, right? And then now this is the chop, it's consolidating, right? Consolidating here. And after it, tested down, came up again, and it had enough, it said, okay, that's enough testing, and just started to rip. So once it broke there, I took it long from here because I saw the break and I said, this is the break. And I looked at the TTM. I bought it on the I bought this on the 30-second chart when I had the cross and the TTM increasing, and just took it from here to here. So 52 cents from here to here, $520. And then I waited for it to come up again. Thought it might have pulled back because I sold around this fib. Just got over it. Came up again, and then it was still just continuing. And then the angle of attack even changed right here when I got in again, and just boom, really quickly. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 seconds. That's another $450. And then, oh, that would have been a great one to catch. Missed that one. Happens really quick though. So missed this whole doji, just caught this, locked in my 450, pulled back, shot up again. And I picked up 23 cents, $230 here on the top. And look, it was still going strong on the 5-second. But when you look at that 30-second chart, you're pretty much at the top of it, like it's over. So I'm on the last two biggest candles here, 1, 2. But not all the way up. But that was it. And then this thing really started to consolidate again. And I was done for the day. I didn't come back to play any pops or anything like that. And that was it. So that was my day. Just showing you how I look at it. And I look for setups on the 30. And when I'm looking at it on 3 charts, it looks something like this. And I would be a lot more zoomed in here. Let me see if I can find this spot. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this is what it looks like on 3 charts. So I just kind of confirm each entry with each other. It's a little video, it's all over the place. Doing 3 screens is a lot, but I thought I'd share it with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and good luck with your trading tomorrow. I have to go back to work tomorrow, so I'll be trading again Wednesday. So you guys have a great day and good luck tomorrow.